What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of 30 Minutes with a Millionaire, the number one spot, the number one location on YouTube for learning how to increase your income, impact, and influence, starting, building, or scaling an online Amazon business where we sell physical, private branded, and private labeled products. This is the goal. This is the channel. This is the place. So if you're new to the channel, you're new to this episode, whether it's live or you're watching a recording, do a few things. First and foremost, hit that subscribe button right now down below. It's a red button. Click that notification bell next to it. That way you're notified every single week when we drop brand new videos, motivational videos, inspirational videos, me breaking down how to find successful products, how to build and grow your business. We even have a YouTube exclusive series that we release new episodes to every single week called 7-Figure Product Series. In this series, we are literally investing our own money, spending our own time, doing our own due diligence to find successful companies that are primarily on Amazon where their products are generating over 7 figures in sales. We order them, we review them, we open them, we literally go over packaging, we go over products, we go over profits, and we break down step-by-step how to start, grow, and scale your very own online business. If you haven't checked out the series, definitely check that out. If you're new and you're here live with this, guys, go ahead and drop your questions down below. The only dumb question is a question that is not asked. And if you're watching the recording of this, make sure you show up to the future episodes so you can get your questions answered live while we're still doing this. Awesome. Francisco says, I learned a lot from that series. I appreciate it, Francisco. We put a lot of work into that series. My team puts a lot of work into that series. We invest a lot of money into that series. Like, we just ordered one product. How much was that one product? $700, $800? Yeah, we just invested in a product that was over $700 that's doing, what was it? Do you remember what it was doing? A couple million? It was doing $1.2 million per year, one product. So an amazing series. And I think that one will be coming out maybe next week or the following week. So be on the lookout for that one. What's going on, Herbert? You're definitely in here. What's going on, everybody? Awesome. So again, guys, any questions that you guys have, this is your time to get them answered. Any way we can help you get unstuck, any way we can help you get momentum in your business, help you get clarity, help you get to the next level. I'll try my best to help you any way that I can. The other day, you talked about sales funnels. When would you implement this as a new business? Great question, T. So when it comes to sales funnels, this is almost like the question that we get asked all the time, like, when would you implement an employee or a virtual assistant? There's no right or wrong answer as to when would you implement a funnel. It's all about bandwidth and it's all about capacity. I think that this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of consultants or teachers like myself aren't transparent with, or they don't teach on enough, because you can get overwhelmed with all this stuff that you can do to your business. There are so many things that you can do to help your business, from marketing to vertical integration to product selection to hiring staff members to selling in different countries. When do you do these things, right? When is the right time? So and I'll give you my personal opinion and like my methodology for what I do in my businesses. I have this model, which I call, making success simple. So I'm all about how do I make things simple and simplicity. So when you're looking at starting your business or growing your business, I like to think about a few things. Like, I really try to make things simple. I try to reduce my thought process. And this is known as cognitive load or cognitive energy. And the more I start to study successful entrepreneurs and CEOs, like the CEO of Apple and like Jeff Bezos and the CEO of Tesla and all these like billionaires and super successful high-level achievers, I noticed they all had this one thing in common, and it's protecting their cognitive load and cognitive energy. In fact, Elon Musk in an interview stated that he only makes one important decision per day. That's it. So, and then the CEO of Apple, if you guys noticed recently, I only wear black t-shirts. The only reason I have this stupid designer stuff on is because we were shooting videos and my video team were like, dude, you have to wear something different. Otherwise, I would be in a black t-shirt. The reason why I wear a black t-shirt every single day is because I have no cognitive load into what am I going to wear. I wear the same thing repetitively. It becomes a part of my routine. I don't have to think about that. You only have so much capacity for cognitive thinking. And when we're putting that cognitive energy into things that are not producing results or happiness in our life, when it comes to making decisions on things that will improve our business or improve our net worth or improve our happiness, our decision making is not operating at the highest level that it should be, right? So now that you kind of understand that and the simplicity behind it, when do we start with funnels? If you understand what funnels are and you know how to build them and you know the purpose of them, they can be very effective at the beginning of your business. If not, I would not say that it's the best thing to put that cognitive energy into. If we're talking about Amazon businesses specifically, all of your time, effort, energy, and cognitive load should go into finding a product. Notice I said finding a product, not developing a product, not developing a brand, not working on a slogan, not working on a logo, not creating an entity, not creating, the perfect credit score, not finding a partner, not raising money, none of that. Finding the product, learning the process of finding a product, getting that product to the marketplace as fast as possible, and approving depth of market or actual data from the marketplace, right? Is this product working? Is this product viable? Getting direct consumer feedback. All of this other stuff can be added down the road. Now, if you know about funnels and you're in this process, well, you can inject that at the beginning. How? Because you can use funnels as a lead magnet. What is a lead magnet? Exchanging something free in exchange for value. So if I had on my inner circle, someone was talking about a kitchen product. So I'm just going to use that example because it's fresh in my mind. I was breaking down strategies to growing a kitchen product or a kitchen-based product. So if that was my niche, that was my category, I would do something like 101 recipes, or let's dumb it down a little bit. 10 top recipes for Thanksgiving, 10 top easy recipes for the holidays, three easy to make recipes that you can do in under 30 minutes, right? Or 30 recipes that can be made under 30 minutes. Something of value that is going to intrigue the client to want it, and then you want to exchange that something of value in exchange for something that you need that is of a value. So what happens is the law of reciprocity kicks in. So if you're doing a lead magnet, this is just one of the many funnel types that you can do. I would give you that PDF download for those recipes in exchange for your information, maybe your phone number, your email, and your name. If the value of what you're offering is less than the value of what they're giving you and it's enticing enough, then they'll exchange that. So that can be very effective as you're building your list because you want to market your products to them and market your potential products to them. However, if you don't have a clue about what funnels are, how to create them, how to use them, the different types, and your business isn't like successful or profitable and it requires cognitive load or time, effort, and energy that's going to subtract from the needle movers in your business, don't do it. So I know it sounds like I went under, went down a deep rabbit hole, but that is how I do all of my process of elimination and my categorization of things that I'm going to do, tasks that I'm going to do, things I'm going to do in my business. A book that I love that I refer to often that you guys should read if you struggle with this or want more context to this is called The One Thing by Gary Keller. So in The One Thing by Gary Keller, he talks about decision-making prioritized around exponential results. High quantitative, huge quantum leaps through minimal efforts. So I'm always asking myself, what takes the least amount of time, the least amount of effort, and gets the biggest results in my life or my business, right? And then that's what I prioritize, and that's what I do. So these are a few questions you could ask yourself. What can I do right now in my business that can be done today that will get me results tomorrow? I would start with those. If I could do this one thing, what would create me the most amount of revenue or help me generate the most amount of revenue in my business? And if it's implementing a funnel, then inject it. If it's finding that product and launching that product, then inject it. If it's working with someone for PPC or learning PPC, inject it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the actual physical component area of your business. Now you can do the same practice with your life. What is subtracting from happiness in my life that is not necessary? You would be surprised if you literally went down and did a process of elimination as to what steals your joy. You could find things that you could eliminate or outsource that would increase the quality of your living. So for me, and I'll give you my own example so you can see how this works. For me, I hate going to the grocery store. And then we started paying to have groceries delivered. But we still had to prep food, make food, wash dishes. And for me, like that was a huge waste of time. Now I could have hired a chef and I could have hired a personal cleaning lady. That would have cost thousands of dollars. And that was frivolous for me, right? So what I did is find a meal prep company that makes meals specific to my macros for me to hit my targets when it comes to me working out and fitness at a budget. So I pay $8 a meal. It meets my macros. I do nothing. Before I got on this call, I literally just went into the microwave. I popped my food in there. I ate it. I threw the thing away. I'm not prepping. I'm not shopping. I'm not cleaning. I'm not cooking, but I need food to survive. So for me, that's one thing I eliminated. The other thing was clothing. I'm like, holy crap, what am I going to wear? People see me all over the time. I got to have new outfits. There's all these trends. Well, I reviewed what CEO of Apple did, and I'm like, holy crap, if he's the billionaire and he's wearing black shirts and jeans every single day, like wearing this cool stuff is not going to make me feel better as a person. It's not going to generate me more fulfillment, happiness, or income. Therefore, it's unnecessary in my life. So how can I sustain this and remain all the cognitive load for high income producing activities? Well, that's by removing it. So these are two things that I did in my life. So when you're looking at your business and what you can do to really get that quantum leap, like what Gary Keller talks about, identify these lever pulls. We talk about lever pulls because they're easy. If you pull a lever, something is activated, initiated, and then in the process. So what's a lever that you can pull in your life or your business that will activate and initiate a change simultaneously, like instantaneously, that will improve the quality of your life or the income in your company? And when you think like that, it'll really, it'll get you guys results. Great question, by the way. And shout out to everybody that's here live. Everybody that's here live, if you guys could do me a question, like do me one favor right now. All I ask is that you guys like this video right now. If you're getting any value whatsoever, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, just click the red button next to it, hit the bell. It takes like 2 seconds. It's free. We don't charge for this. And I generally try to give you guys like actionable information that has made me millions of dollars or have made me happy, right? Like the only two things that you should care about on your mission to fulfillment or your mission to becoming successful or success in general is becoming the best version of yourself, right? Some may argue you need wealth to become the best version of yourself and to live your best life. And some also say that you need happiness, right? I believe that you need a combination of health, wealth, and happiness. So anything I talk about on this channel and any advice I give you guys is tried and true. And it's rather improved the quality of my life, increased my happiness and fulfillment in my life, or have made me ungodly, absurd amounts of money. So that's where I get this stuff from. So hopefully, if you guys enjoy that stuff, subscribe to the channel, share this stuff on your social media, screenshot it, post it on your Instagram, share the channel, comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. It really helps. And that's what we do it for, is for the impact. Because when you guys do all that stuff, more people find out about the channel. We don't really sell nothing on this channel. Like I talk about my book, my top selling book. But other than that, like we want to help you guys and serve you guys. That's the whole mission of this channel. So that I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Are all your products from China? So Janet, I would say 2/3 of all the products on Amazon come from China, and in the United States, a majority of all of the products come from China. So there's like a misconception in the marketplace that products from China are bad quality. Actually, China has a majority of better quality because a lot of the raw materials and quality product materials are actually sourced from China or countries that are adjacent to Asia. So that was kind of like a misconception. I used to feel, I'm like, my first supplier was in the US and I thought I was like the man because I was one of the only people in the US. I didn't make more money. I actually made less money because my margins were lower because I was doing that. So do some people buy your product because it's only made in the USA? Yeah, it's cool to be able to brag about that. But at the end of the day, you lose money because US suppliers cannot keep up with the raw material cost, the importing fees and shipping fees associated with raw materials, and most importantly, the labor costs in Asia, right? So a majority of products, like when you think about high quality products, you think about Beats by Dre, you think about Apple, you think about furniture from Wayfair, you think about all these high quality stuff that we're consuming and buying every single day, your Sony, your Canon, all these products, all this stuff is manufactured overseas, or it is developed in the US and manufactured overseas. That's kind of a workaround if you want to have US in your stuff. You can say, like Apple is famous for this, developed in San Francisco, manufactured in China, right? So that's the like workaround. But yes, all my products are manufactured in China. They have been. I've worked with US suppliers. There's pros and cons to both, but usually China is going to be your best bet. I love your videos plus knowledge. Thank you. I sell on UK Amazon Marketplace, the second largest marketplace next to the US. That's awesome. And plan to expand to Europe and USA Amazon eventually. How would you recommend going about doing this and how tough is it? Great question. And I appreciate the feedback. That means the world to me. So I did something similar when I started back in the day with one of my top brands. So I started in the US and I branched into 5 countries. It was Europe, France, Germany, and Italy. So across those 5 different countries. So usually you start in one country. The 2 countries I recommend are the US or the UK, the 2 largest marketplaces in the world for selling on Amazon. And when you're thinking about, we call this horizontal expansion, not vertical expansion. When we're talking about horizontal expansion and we're thinking about geographically expanding, there's a few things that you want to ask yourself. Number one, you want to look at your margin because it's going to cost you different amounts to ship to different regions. There's also different tariffs and taxations that apply. So that's number one, logistics and profitability. Number 2 is going to be consumer data reports. So you can do some due diligence. For instance, one free resource you can utilize is Google Trends. You can go and type in a geographical region and then a product category or product keyword. And when you do this, you can actually do your due diligence tied directly to Google that will show you geographically tied to your demographic as well as your product selection or your product category, which of these countries have the highest search volume, have the highest predominance, and have are searching your stuff the most. That would be the countries that I prioritize. I made the mistake personally of going to too many countries too soon. I like to call this the domino effect. I like to do one country at a time, unless there's a bunch of countries that are in a close region, like in Europe, for example, where there's significant high demand and low fulfillment or low amount of people selling it. Like if there's an extreme demand and the data supports this, I'll go all in. But I made that mistake and it was just hard to juggle and optimize all these different countries. So I like to recommend one country at a time. If you're in UK, US is a no-brainer if your product is supported, which I'm sure it will be because the US marketplace is the largest. So my personal opinion, without knowing your product, your demographic or anything like that, I would say UK, US, and then I would branch into other countries in Europe. But definitely do your due diligence. One of the best tools to do this is going to be Google Trends. Again, you can check geographically. You can do like tiered searching. So you can do geographic searches. You can do search term or search phrase, which is going to be your product or product category. And then you can actually implement demographics. So what would that look like? Cell phone case, right? Cell phone case, male 18 to 35, Europe. Or I can dumb down to the United Kingdom, or I can go to, you see what I'm saying? I can go countries, I can go cities, I can go states. So you just want to do your research and then you want to start to document that and have a list of all that. So that way, when you're ready to horizontally expand into other cities, states, countries, so on and so forth, you have all of that data, right? That was another mistake I made. I would do this due diligence and then I wouldn't document it and then I'd have to redundantly do the research. So when you're working on expanding, building, and growing your business, make sure you're documenting all of this research because it's going to come in hand. The best way for me, and I'm a caveman, you guys probably have better, ways to do this. There's softwares and stuff, but I'm a caveman. I literally go on my computer, I right click, I click new folder, I name the folder what the research is, and then I have those on my computer. You can do the same thing with G Drive. You can do this with Excel sheets, whatever works best for you. Just try to be organized, especially for those of you, I was talking about this in Inner Circle yesterday, who are high Ds, where you get an idea, it's going to, you get an idea and you go and you implement immediately. Like we're not usually organized. So if you're a high D, you're an action taker, you get stuff done, but you lack organization. That's the part of your brain you don't use and the part of your business and the part of your life that will increase the results the most, whether it be happiness or whether it be income. That's my biggest mistake, my biggest issue. So implement that and start to work around that stuff. And if you guys are the opposite, high S's, high C's or I's, low D's, which means you're super organized, but you don't get stuff accomplished, you don't get results fast, then start noting, like, I've done all this research, my research rocks, my organization rocks. It's time to make some money. It's time to get some stuff going. It's time to get the ball rolling. It's time to take action. So identify. And if you haven't done the disc, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I taught this in my Inner Circle call yesterday. with my mentees. But the disc, like the two things that will change your life. In fact, I believe in this so much that if I was like the president, I would make this mandatory in high school, is that all children, the moment they turn 17, have to have a disc assessment and have to do a love language test. I feel that if you're in a relationship emotionally with someone and you don't understand your love languages and you don't understand your brain prioritization and your functionality of your thought processes, that you cannot serve yourself in that relationship, nor can you serve the opposite end. So I wish I could go back. Like my kids are going to take the test. I'm going to train them on this stuff. This is stuff I'm going to do, stuff that I've done now that I'm 32 that I wish I would have done when I was 18. But those two things, under $100 to do both of them: love language tests, disc assessment tests. It will improve the quality of your life. It'll improve your happiness. It'll allow you to operate more efficiently, more effective. It'll make you a better entrepreneur, a better CEO, a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better person. And then when it comes to dealing with other humans, you'll understand how to interact and you'll be able to identify who they are, how they operate, things that they like, and you'll be able to persuade them significantly easier, as well as serve them at a higher level. So these are just unfair advantages I've learned. You got to start cutting me off, bro. This is too much game for these people, man. This is YouTube. This crap is free. Y'all don't be sharing this stuff, man. I don't see no story reshares on Instagram. This crap makes me buttloads of money, man. Like, let's just go back to the fluff. You guys ready for the fluff? Comment the word fluff down below if you want some YouTube fluff. Good old YouTube fluff. No, all jokes aside, I feel this is the best YouTube channel on the planet, especially when it comes to building, growing, and scaling an online Amazon business. That's our mission. I joke around all the time. You will not find another channel that can touch this channel in genuinely trying to help you. You know what I mean? Don't blame anybody on why you didn't succeed. Wow. Should I have an external website to link to my product? Francisco, Amazon has an algorithm, and Amazon is a search engine, and Amazon also operates off of all these different characteristics, just like Google, right? Google is an algorithm. Google is a search engine. So anything that's search-based, they have what's called an algorithm, and in order to manipulate the algorithm or to rank in the algorithm, you have to do what's called SEO, which is search engine optimization. So when it comes to linking your website to your product, there's a few different reasons why you would do this. Number one, it would be an external contextual link that increases your domain authority, which will allow you to rank higher in Amazon's A10 algorithm. That is one of the reasons. Number two, yeah, and that's another thing. I don't be hearing none of these Amazon people talk about this stuff. It's like top 10 ways to find a product that'll allow you to retire in 15 minutes, right? It's some bullshit when you go there. Anyway, that may have went over, like, so you can do it for SEO or you can do it for sales, right? So if you want to increase your sales, you have to look at it like a cycle. If you have your Amazon and you have your store and you're linking, traffic is feeding back and forth, which will increase your sales. It will also increase your ranking. So you can have the best website, but if you're not driving traffic to it, you're not going to get sales. That's why Amazon's so powerful. However, even if you're not driving sales and you have an external site linking to your Amazon, it will help your ranking. It'll help your domain authority. So again, going back to what I talked about, cognitive load, will it help? Yes. Should you do it? Yes. Is it a priority in the beginning? No, especially if you don't know how to build websites, you don't have somebody to do it, or you don't know how to do it yourself. It's not that important. It's not going to move the needle. What's going to move the needle is finding that product, understanding product research, developing that product, getting it to Amazon as fast as possible, running advertising, running influencer campaigns, getting sales, maintaining profitability. Then all that other jazz can be worked on, right? And again, guys, this doesn't have to be like Babylon wasn't built in one day. So prioritize what is your priority, which is making you money. And the fastest way to make you money is to get the product and to market the product. Then all of this other stuff like slogans, brands, packaging, websites, entities, LLCs, brand endorsements, like email marketing, all that stuff can come at a later date. So prioritize where you are, what's that lever you can move for a fast win, and then just create that detailed list and then implement on them in chronological order, right? From 1 to 10. Maybe 10 is the website, 1 is identifying product research and how to find the product. You mentioned a good starting amount with private labeling Is $1,000. What is your recommended minimum amount for wholesaling? So I don't know much about wholesaling, but honestly, I don't know where the 1,000 came from. I recommend like 3 to 5,000 as a minimum. Um, Wholesaling, I don't even know if you can open a wholesale account with $1,000. Usually they want distributors who can purchase in bulk. So wholesaling works how like you basically go to a manufacturer or a larger wholesaler or distributor and you buy large quantities in bulk or wholesale at below MSRP. MSRP is manufacturer suggested retail pricing. Then you follow what's called an MAP structure, which is minimum advertising pricing structure. So the way it works is I manufacture a product. I don't want to sell the product. I sell the product to other people and I sell them to large stores who sell the product. You come buy the product below MSRP, follow an MAP MSRP. You sell it at the MSRP MAP, and whatever the difference is between my bulk price to you and the MAP MSRP is your profit. So I know a lot of people make a ton of money in that business model. I genuinely don't like it. There's not really any intellectual property. You're just hustling. It's the opposite of what I want. I like to do nothing and make large amounts of money. That's more of a hustle. There's nothing intellectually like to it. You're literally just a distributor. You don't own a brand. There's no intellectual property. You know, you got to hustle. You have to have a physical location. You're just a SKU. Like you're just selling a SKU. There's hundreds of people selling the same crap. You're beating them to the bottom in pricing. It's low margins. I mean, again, I know people making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. It's just not my thing. My thing was like, how do I do the least amount of work and make the most amount of money? Like I've made millions of dollars in Amazon with having less than 6 SKUs. So there's, multiple business models. If you had no money, like if you have $1,000 or less and you're trying to use Amazon as a hustle, I would go into arbitrage. When I started with arbitrage. I also, not only did I do arbitrage, I would literally resell stuff. So shout out to Steven Rankin. He's got a YouTube channel on here, shows you how to do this. When I was broke, like my good friend now, when I was broke, Jesus, man, like maybe 10 years ago, I would watch his channel and he show you how to go to like Goodwill, Salvation Army, buy designer clothing at discounts, how to like iron them, prep them, list them on Etsy and eBay and sell them for a profit. And like that is what I did. And that like literally put food on my table while I was trying to figure this whole thing out. Right. So that's what I would do if I had less than $1,000. My name is Emmanuel. Awesome. I know that now. If I see the truth one, I know it's Emmanuel. Cool. Let's keep rolling. Do you have a book list recommendations for your students to read? Yeah. So the One Thing by Gary Keller is huge. That's around prioritization and executing on like strategical things and strategical processes, like basically how to identify like the next thing that you should prioritize to get you the most amount of results, making success simple. The Richest Man in Babylon really gives you a good understanding about money and how money is money is used as a tool to create wealth. A majority of people use money the wrong way. They get money and they hoard it, which like it actually it's pretty fascinating. If you look in the Bible, God wants you to have an abundance, right? God talks about an abundance in your life and how you can have anything and everything that you ask for. And the Bible even says that if you invest into yourself, if you invest, and help people and serve people, that your cup will be runneth over, they'll be plentiful. It never talks about scarcity. It talks about abundance. Yet people, they work, they get these resources or this tool, which is money, and then they hoard it. Like they keep it in a savings account where it's not protected, it's not earning, it's not improving the quality of their life. And then they live an unhappy life in scarcity and not abundance. So the fascinating component of The Richest Man in Babylon is it talks about how money needs to be treated as a servant, and how, in the BC times and back in the days, money was a servant. It was the tool, the highest tool that people use, and they used money as a servant or soldiers to go create wealth for them. So it's a fascinating philosophy and understanding on money and how money is the most like useful resource that we have when it comes to creating wealth and how people use them wrong. So around like money, investing, becoming wealthy, I like The Richest Man in Babylon. The Millionaire Next Door I like because it talks about frugality and it combats like frivolous spending. So I'm huge on like not spending frivolously. I'm huge on being frugal. I'm huge on like understanding what to buy, how to buy it, and so on and so forth, which I think is huge because in being an entrepreneur and selling on Amazon and having a business of your own, like you can make a lot of money. And in the book, What Would the Rockefellers Do? It talks about building your own bank and utilizing trust for infinite banking, right? Which is, if you're interested on that stuff, that's an awesome book. But in the What Would the Rockefellers Do? In this book, they talk about the greatest evil, like, is money, right? And the greatest destroyer of legacy is money. But usually when you think about legacy, you think about making money to create the legacy. But if you create the money and you don't create the legacy or the instrument for the legacy to be sustainable, then the money will destroy the legacy. And it talks about how the Rockefellers are known as one of the richest families in the world, but that's because they had the systems, and the Sinclairs were actually richer than them. However, and there was other families that are richer than them, but it was the first generation, second generation. The generations that came after them didn't know how to maintain and grow the wealth. Therefore, they spent it all, right? So if you're making a ton of money, like, I would understand, because this is a huge misconception that I had. I thought, like, literally all I had to do is like figure out how to make a lot of money, and then my family was set forever. And then I realized, wow, like, I have high income skill sets. I know how to generate millions of dollars. I know how to be the CEO of multiple companies, but my children do not, right? How will their children, how will they know? How will their children know? How will their children know? So it comes about the systems of protecting wealth, protecting money, and creating systems that way future generations or generational wealth can occur, right? So if you're making money, you are into that type of stuff, you're focused on generational wealth, that's something that's part of your why, I would check out that book. Awakening the Giant Within is good for mindset. That's by Tony Robbins. And let me think of one more. I'm trying to go diverse for you guys. Of course, the one that's here on the screen, One Product Away. If you're like interested, if you're new to my world or you're new to selling online, like you literally want to see if this online Amazon business thing is for you, you want to learn how to start, build, grow, and scale an online Amazon business, I literally give you this book for free. I just ask that you cover shipping and handling. So what it costs to get this book to you and what it costs for me to pay a fulfillment center to hold these books, pick them, pack them, and ship them to you. Whatever that is on the website, like, I pay for the printing, I pay for the book, and you guys can get this book for free. And it's pretty much all that jazz. How I got started, how you can get started, what to expect with the business, how much you need to get started, how the business works, why the business will always work, so on and so forth. All that jazz is in here. And I think that's pretty much it, man. I think that's a good wide variety of books for you guys. Is the $997 only for training courses? $997, that's the price point for the AMZ formula. So the AMZ formula is the base curriculum. So you may have heard of the AMZ formula within my world and my programs. The AMZ formula is the curriculum. That's the programs. That's the teaching. We have a ton of different programs. Like, the reason why I don't do webinars or I don't sell anything on here is because after being in the industry for years and years and years and having thousands of clients and literally interviewing hundreds of successful clients and working to identify how can we increase the results within our community and our client base, we identified that, like, there is no one size fit all. Like, in Amazon course, like, the AMZ formula has tons of successful students, but it's not perfect for everyone. So that's when we develop different tier packages and different programs. So we have the AMZ formula, which is a program. We have the AMZ formula Max, which is the program plus weekly coaching. We have the inner circle, which is where you get access to the program. You get access to the actual weekly coaching, and then you unlock personal mentorship with myself, as well as a concierge and a personal success representative that holds you accountable and helps you throughout your journey. We identified that some people love the business, believe in the business, and they get stuck along the way, and they want to partner with us, have us literally build the business for them and manage it for them. That's when we introduced last year AMZ Together, which is where we build the business for you. We manage the business with you. So it just determines, what is your goal? What type of person are you? Are you more of an entrepreneur, more of an investor? Do you have time? Do you not have time? Do you want to learn a high income skill set? Do you want to make an investment? And that's why now everything we do is phone calls. So down below is the link to schedule a call. It's a free call. Like, it's not a sales call. We're just going to ask you some questions, identify what type of person you are, what your goals are, and how any of our programs or any of our services can help you. And if they can help you, that's great. If they can't, that's cool too. We can point you hopefully to a resource that can, or give you some free resources that can help you on your journey. But that's the process that's worked best for us, right? And that's why I don't do webinars or anything like that anymore, because there's too many programs. Like if you have no money, but you want to learn how to get started, like this is a $20 object that can help you. If you're an investor and you don't want to learn, obviously a course is not going to help you if you're an investor and you want a business added to your portfolio. However, even if you had the money to invest in the business, but you want to learn this skill set, like you're retired, semi-retired, you want something to keep you busy, but you want to fire your boss and you want to do something, you like to build things and get your hands dirty, maybe the program's best for you. Maybe the mentorship's best for you, right? So like there's different people and different needs, and that's what we identified over the years. So best bet is, if you want help, if you want to work with me, if you want to work with my team, if you want answers on our pricing or our programs or how anything works, the best thing to do is to go ahead and book a call. Drop the link down below. Right now it's on the book. That way anybody who has those questions or wants to work with us, they know how to do so. Cool. What other questions do we have? Why do you recommend staying away from electronic items as a beginner seller? Julie, great question. So I actually had a call, I actually was in a board meeting with my team today for product research and working with our product research team, and they asked something similar. And I explained to them, I'm not saying that electronic products aren't successful, because one of my good friends does millions of dollars and all they sell is electronic accessories, and they are crushing it. So I'm not saying that like you can't be successful with an electronic component based product or an electronic product, but I want to be very like clear. Electronic products require a different approach. Like number one, you have to be more meticulous in your development of the product. Number one. Number two, oftentimes they do cost more to source. Oftentimes, of course, there can be small, cheap components, but a majority of the times they cost more to source. They take longer to get up and running because of the developmental as well as the creation and manufacturing of the process. So when I look at it as a whole, like a majority of the people who we teach and who this channel is for, looking at our like demographics, it's for beginners. And so when I try to teach you guys or create information or content for you guys, I'm trying to figure out a way to come up with more of a broad cookie cutter approach that's easy to follow, that has the chances to get you guys the best results, right? So it can be a bumpy road when you get into electronics, because one of my first products was actually a USB car charger. It was a dual port USB car charger in 2015. These were new when they introduced the 5.1 and the 2.4. This is a different USB component that increases the charging time. Like it charges your phone faster, or your thing faster, like a tablet or a game device faster. This was newer. It was trending. It was crazy. It was lightweight. They were cheap to source. This is one of my first products, but I didn't understand all these things that I'm sharing with you. So I got an account shut down. I had horrible reviews because I didn't understand how to develop an electronic product. I didn't understand how to work with their engineer to determine the best like internal components, the best quality product. I did here on 7-Figure Products. Is the Scuff video up, Eros, on 7-Figure Products? So if you go to the 7-Figure Products series playlist, I did a episode on this company called Scuff. They are an electronics only company that do controllers for PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. They're a high ticket product. They're selling these for $200, $300, $400, and they cost a few dollars to make, right? They're 8 high 9-figure valued company, right? So they're absolutely crushing it. So it does work, but it's just a different giant, right? You really have to take your time. What my recommendation for is, when it comes to electronics, is to outspend your competition. You have Apple, right? I always talk about Apple. They don't pay me anything, unfortunately. I always talk about them. But you have Apple, and then you have Acer. When it comes to electronics, you have different strategies. You have provide something that works at the cheapest, or provide the best and don't spare expense. So if I was to do electronics, I would try to be the Beats by Dre. I would try to be the Apple. I would try to ask my engineer or my manufacturer, how can I spend more money than anybody else who's selling on Amazon on making my stuff work the fastest, work the best, work the quietest, last the longest, Like those are the questions and the focus on that. And oftentimes for beginners, it costs too much money. It takes too long. It's a little bit too risky. So long drawn out question, like answer, but I recommend for beginners to stay away from it. It's a little bit more complex and difficult. Can it be done as a beginner? Absolutely. If you are going to do it as a beginner, those are the things you want to think about. Again, price point, time frame, development, and complexity. I found products. I found products. I'm in the sourcing phase. Having difficult time finding ways to differentiate products. Would you add a free product? Would you add a free product? What is your process to stand out from other listings? So in the product development stages, so we've done product research, we found a product, we verified the product internally with our own due diligence. Because remember, we have product verification and product validation. Product verification is an internal due diligence phase where we're doing all of the due diligence internally prior to spending money on product or having product received to Amazon. This is the product patented? Is the product trending? Are the profit margins there? Can we vertically integrate? All the stuff we talk about in the AMZ formula and here on the channel. Once you verify, you can only validate in phase 2 once you order product, have product shipped to Amazon, and get direct consumer feedback. So once the product verification phase is done and you're getting ready to go into product development, followed by product sourcing and manufacturing, how do we add value? How do we differentiate the product? How do we make it to where people are going to buy our products over our competition's products, right? There's a few things. And again, there's no one size fits all when it comes to this because there's different strategies for different categories, right? Like an electronical strategy for differentiation would be different than a home goods kitchen brand, right? I hope that makes sense, right? For instance, for the electronical component, we may want to differentiate by adding a new, improved, larger battery that doubles the operational time of the product. That's the differentiating ooh and wow. However, in the product-based, consumer-based kitchen category, it may be offering a cooking class every Tuesday in our members-only Facebook group. You see where I'm going at with this? So you want to identify what are you doing. I think people drop the ball on this. I think there's too many gurus talking about fluff on YouTube. And when they talk about differentiation, they're like, change the color, change the size, lower the price, add a second one, bundle it with an accessory. That is all rudimentary, basic fluff. Like when it comes to genuinely increasing the value, you want to be the next Peloton. Peloton, you can go get an exercise bike from Target for $49 that will do the same thing as Peloton, right? I mean, it may not be electronic and have a touchscreen TV, but it will give you the same calisthenics as that bike. Why is Peloton charging $1,500 plus $50 a month? It's because they are outvaluing the other people. How are they outvaluing them? Well, they have different coaches doing classes, right? They have their own like gear that goes with the bike. So identify how you can improve and how you can differentiate. For instance, I'll give you a real world example of one thing that I did. One of my products was a consumable, not a digestible, but a consumable, meaning that it can be used, and once it's used, it's gone. And what the competition was doing was they were competing with price, they were competing with quantity. For me and my niche in my industry in bath and beauty, it was price and quantity. New people came in, they offered one extra. Then a new guy came in, they offered one extra. Then a new person came in, they offered the two extra and a lower price. And then there was just this teeter-totter of killing margin and racing to the bottom, while I was the highest price, top 3 on page 1, making millions of dollars. What did I do different? Did I add more quantity? No. Did I change the color of the packaging? No. Did I compete with them in price? No. Did I optimize my listing different? No. So how was I able to be at the top price point, have the highest margins, and continue to crush the people who are racing to the bottom with quantity or price? I identified what was the consumer's biggest pain points, and I solved it. Their biggest pain point was lack of selection. So how did I do this? Did I create 15 subcategories or 15 child ASINs underneath this main ASIN where you could choose all these different ones? No, I took it a step above. I initiated a subscribe and save, which means when you buy this product, you click one button. Amazon owns the intellectual property to this. And then every 30 days, you have a new product that comes to your house. And how did I solve that problem? Every 30 days, I gave you a new selection. The only person on Amazon to do this. I made millions of dollars by identifying what was the biggest pain point, what was an unsolved problem, and offering it to the marketplace. I've watched Naveen James from India. He's a multi-billionaire. Talk about this. I've had the pleasure of watching him speak publicly in person multiple times. And oftentimes as a billionaire, people want to know, how do you become a billionaire? How do you go from a millionaire to a billionaire? You cannot go from a million. What will make you a million will never make you a billion. If you're going to make a billion, you have to solve a world global problem. The easiest way to become a billionaire is to identify a problem that a billion people have. So that's what he focused on. 2/3 of his life was devoted to identifying a problem and solving it. So when it comes to Amazon, it comes to differentiation. If it's quantity, size, bundle, like all those things, are they effective? Yes. Do they work? Yes, but they're rudimentary. Everybody's doing them. They will get watered down in effectiveness. You want to find a way to literally blow everybody out of the market. Here's a few ways that you can do this. Groups are huge and they are drastically underutilized. People are not creating groups. For instance, if I had one of our clients, this, I'll give you a perfect, I can't do this actually. God dang it. You guys are about to get laced. 40 likes? Yeah, the team's saying to shut up, man. This is too much. Yo, I'll let that just chill where it was at, man. I got to chill. The team was like, yo, you guys, they watched me do my coaching calls where clients literally invest tens of thousands of dollars to speak with me. And is there any difference? So when I tell you guys, you better tap into these things, you better watch these things, show up to these things while I do them, there will be a chance where I prioritize being on a yacht or being on a beach other than doing this. So, and for the meantime, I enjoy doing this, but I don't know how long I'm going to do this. And this stuff is effective. This stuff works. But like the way that you differentiate is not price. It's not quantity. It's not packaging. It's experience. It's usability. It's functions. Like the easiest way. And again, reverse engineer what successful brands, products, and categories have done. In the past, remote controls came without batteries. That was a huge pain point is, damn, I got to go buy batteries now. So what did they do? They solved it by remote companies, television companies partnering with battery companies. Now when you go and buy a TV set, chances are they come with a specific branded battery. So what can you do? You can actually partner with different brands to include their products. You can also identify what are the next things that they would buy after this that I can include in my product. If you're going to include products, what are the next steps? What are the next accessories? What are mandatory? What increases the effectiveness of your product? What is something that's mandatory for your product to be used that is oftentimes having to be purchased that you can include for free? These are ways to offer value and literally destroy the competition in the process, because everybody makes the same mistake. People try to become rich by being cheap. People are selling on Amazon by watching YouTube and watching podcasts. They don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're losing their money, and they're offering inferior products to the marketplace. Then you have experts like me with deep pockets and well-diverse knowledge that come and take all the money. Like a majority of the sellers, a majority of the brands are dominated by highly educated Amazon sellers or consultants, or people who came through their programs or partnered with them. That's just like, that sounds biased and salesy, but it is the God honest truth. I was having dinner with my mentor, and he introduced me to a gentleman that's worth several $100 million, and all he does is buys brands on Amazon. So we're talking because, well, for a living, I build brands for clients who want to sell them and make a ton of money. So it was a mutual interest. And we were talking, he was just talking about the unfair advantage that sellers have going into Amazon undereducated, because Amazon will never create education that is sufficient enough for you to survive on Amazon. It's just the way it is. They don't care if you lose all of your money. They don't care if you build a successful brand. They don't care. They expect you to come prepared in order to use their platform, and all their time, effort, and energy go into making their platform the best. That's just the way it is. So it's like, people come on here, like they take all the free information, they run with it, then they hit us up like, yo, I spent all this money, I'm not making any money, can you help me out? I'm like, dude, well, you missed this huge gap that you can't find on the internet for free, and this product sucks, and you wasted all your money. Let's start over. So oftentimes that's what happens, and that's the mistake I made. Like when you try to jump over a penny, oftentimes you're losing $1 in this industry. That's what I've learned. So another like gem that you guys can take from this is and this is an unfair advantage. I was just talking, some of you guys may know my good friend Nehemiah Davis. I was talking to him yesterday and we were laughing at the unfair advantage that we have over other people because we are willing to spend absorbent amounts of money to talk to the best people in the industry and ask them very specific questions. That sounds like what I tell you guys. Get good at asking specific questions. If somebody is better than me, wealthier than me, and they have the answer to a question that I lack the knowledge to, and I know if I can solve that problem or answer that question, I will make a lot of money. I am paying them whatever they want to answer that question. That's the cheat code. Like, well, how do I launch a successful business? If you don't know the answer to that, pay someone for that answer, implement that answer, get rich. That's the process. That's why we have a school system, right? You go to school to learn how to do blank in order to receive blank, right? Someone said, does your company finance done-for-you programs or Amazon businesses? Best thing is we do work with a third-party company. It's not an internal company that helps you get lines of credit or loans to help fund your business. So like if you have questions about credit or funding or payment plans or program cost or programs in general, the best thing to do is to schedule a call down below. It's www.productawaycall.com. On this call, come with intentional questions. Don't come with some shield up, like I don't want to be sold something. Like if you want to change your life, you want to start a business, understand like what questions you need answered so that we can give you the help that you need. Like there's two outcomes of the call. Number one, we can serve you, we can help you, and we will explain how we can do so and hopefully do so. Or we can identify that we're not a good fit to work with you, or this business is not a good fit for you, and we can help give you guidance and free resources to help you, right? That's like the only objective of the call. So come prepared with questions like, hey, I want to do this. I need help with funding. I want to do this. I need payment plans. I want to do this. I don't know what the heck program is best for me or how I'm going to get the best results. I want to do this, but these are the questions. Like come prepared. That way you can get exponential results. I'm a part of the AMZ Formula fam already. Shout out to Rose, _. How many underscores is that? Is that 3 underscores? How many underscores do you think that is? 3? Rose to the third power _. Shout out to Rose. I don't have questions for now. I just want to let you know that the Mindset Mastery module was fire. Thank you so much, Rose. I absolutely, that made my day. I'm grinning from ear to ear. Can you see that? Like the jawline? That I struggle as a consultant, as a teacher, whenever I hear people like associate mindset with fluff or mindset with something that's useless or mindset with something that you don't need to learn or skipping mind. I will honestly, transparently, and God as my witness tell you that I would not be here if my mindset was not strong, if I did not develop a strong mindset. I can also tell you this because I'm the owner of the company and I review hundreds of clients, their accounts, and we interview all successful clients and we interview internally clients that are not successful to identify for our own individual research how to make more successful clients and how to help people become more successful. That's what we do within our company. So with me having access to all this information, I can tell you majority of the times it's led to mindset. 9 times out of 10, it is led to mindset. The crazy thing is like our cheapest programs have produced the craziest results because the people that came in had a mindset where this is all that I have and this has to work. The people that can come and drop tens of thousands of dollars on consulting, if they're not serious and they're not in the right mindset, they don't even show up to the calls. What is the difference? When we did our own internal research, it was the fact that they were invested. If you don't pay, you don't pay attention. And if the transaction is not large enough, if the meaningfulness to the transaction is not large enough, there will never be a transformation, right? So you have to be invested in, not just monetarily with opening your pocketbook and paying for a program. You have to be emotionally invested in the program and in the results that you can get because emotion is the only cause of motion, right? There has to be a thought before you get up and walk. There has to be a thought before you move your hand away from burning flame. Emotion is the only cause of motion. Otherwise, inertia is created. So if you understand the law of physics, what goes up must come down. Before you threw an object up, there was already a principle that stated once it was up in the air, then gravity would take effect and it would come down. That's a principle. So what are the principles to you investing in this business? If it's to change your family's life and you give up because you lose a little money, that principle was not real, because the emotion would overturn the desire for that principle, for that thing to come true, is a lot more potent and powerful than losing a little bit of money, which is just paper that's not worth the material that it's printed on, right? So identify those things. So again, and somebody said, what the heck is the mindset mastery module? So you cannot buy this anywhere. The mindset mastery is a program that I did on mindset, and it teaches the most valuable lessons and frameworks that I've learned, paid and learned in my life, right? And when you're in my higher tier programs, in my consulting, and you work with us, before you start anything, you go through that, because we need to make sure you're right up here. Because if you're right up here, the business is simple, right? If you got this in order and this is in the right way of thinking and operating, business is simple. You can rather fail before you start or succeed before you start. Oftentimes, I say there's only two ways that you can fail. Number one is not starting. Number two is giving up. And guess what? Both of them are tied to mindset, not money. Well, you have to have money to start. Let's set the money away. If you have the money to start and you have the money to fix the problem so that you don't give up, why do you give up? Because the mindset tied to the money to start, or the mindset tied to losing the money and having to pay the money to continue on. The mindset must be stronger than the pocketbook, right? So you have to think about these things, and this is things that we teach and frameworks that I follow that have contributed to my success. Awesome. Yeah, make sure we screenshot that, because that's awesome. That made my day. Can I sell products with an expiration date? You can. You just want to think about inventory restrictions, inventory limitations, and also inventory churn rates. So you want to look at how much your inventory you plan on selling, and you want to look at that expiration date. And what I recommend, and my personal suggestion, is when you're starting out and launching this product, undershoot the inventory. It's better to sell through it and have to reorder than to have too much and for it to expire until you get that dialed in. And also, if it is a product that's tied to different parts of the year or times of the year, or seasons of the year, or anything like that, you want to make sure that you factor that into your inventory forecasting as well. Okay, yeah, let's do it. I just started out. I got a logo, made an FBA account, and thinking about using your service. I have a meeting with you guys Sunday. Shout out to, I don't want to butcher your name. Is it Finneganny? What do you guys think? Finneganny? Fine-Ganny? Dude, I'm sorry, bro. I'm the name butcherer, dude. I don't know. It makes me feel better. My team can't pronounce it either, but I appreciate you, having trust in us, and we look forward to contributing to your help and helping you any way possible. Do you need an LLC to sell on the market first? No, you can use an EIN and ITIN as social security number. Once you start up and running, you can always contribute and add a entity, whether it's a LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever's best. I highly recommend that you reach out to an accountant and find out what entity is best for you. If you guys are a part of our program, complimentary is being a part of our program, you get a 1-hour consultation with our partners that literally identify where you live, what type of entity you have. Is it a partnership? What your plans are? Do you want to sell? Do you want to exit? Do you want to pass it down? Like, they ask you all these questions. They help you structure the entity, structure the bank account, and structure the business plan to save the most amount on taxes. That's something that all of our clients get complimentary. So if you're a client, email support@the AMZ and say, hey, I need to talk to your partners about blank. If you're not, if you become a client, you get that for free. How do I figure out a true COG or cost of goods? Good question. So COG is cost of goods. Cost of goods is just basically going to be, what is your manufacturing cost of the product? So what is your negotiated price on quantity for your product after the development of the product is completed? Now you have true cost, which I believe you're referring to, which is actually COGS, which is cost of goods shipped, or sometimes referred to as cost of goods sold. So the cost of goods shipped or sold is a simple equation. It's how much does your product cost post-manufactured, after all the bells and whistles, and how much does the shipping cost? If the product costs $1, so you're ordering 3,000 units, $1 per unit, it costs $3,000, dollar per unit, and the shipping is $3,000, whole round numbers, easy to understand. Your shipping cost per unit is $1. Your manufacturing cost per unit is $1. You add both of them together, your COG, or cost of goods shipped or sold, are now $2. Now you can take it a step further, and you can add your FBA fee for a true net cost of products sold or distributed, right? So in order to identify that equation, you would take the COGS, which is cost of goods manufactured plus cost of goods individually shipped or sold. You take that number, that's $2. Now you find out what is your FBA fee. How do you determine your FBA fee? You go to www.amazon.com/FBA calculator, or type in free Amazon FBA calculator. You utilize their intellectual tool, and you type in all the information that they ask you. They're going to tell you an FBA fee. You take that FBA fee, you add the shipping cost, you add the manufacturing cost. So if it's $1, $1, $5, your true net cost is $7. If you sell it for $20, your net profit is $13. You take 13 and you divide it by the 7, that gives you a true net profit margin. Cool. What is an LLC? How does this relate to those of the US and the UK? So of course there's different entities, like depending on where you live, the type of business, the structure, so on and so forth. That's why I recommended talking with our partners and why we set that up. Can't give you the best information on that, but there's different entities and different benefits, pros and cons, depending on where you're located, what your business goals are. My account got deactivated for drop shipping. That's why we don't drop ship. Man, RIP to the account. By the way, like, we had 100% success rate with our, that's another, like, what's the difference between drop shipping and private label? Like, dude, if you want to make $1 fast and have your account go just as quickly, drop ship. Like, if you want a business that's going to last for many years to come, this is what we do. We've had 100% store, brand, business, whatever you want to call it, success rate, because we're doing what Amazon wants you to do. If you're wholesaling, you're selling brands. If you're doing arbitrage, you're reselling brands. If you're doing private label, you're creating and selling brands. When you're drop shipping, you're ripping off brands from Amazon's competitors and using Amazon as a fulfillment bitch, which they don't like. I mean, I don't know if I could say that, or you got to bleep that out. That's what it is. Amazon hates that crap, right? Bro, you're gonna have to go back and edit this stuff, bro. I want to do private label. What should I say to Amazon to get reinstated again? Kirby, I don't know what the regulation or what the issue is that you got deactivated for. So it's hard to point you in the right direction. I can tell, like, when clients come into our world and that we have this issue, unfortunately we have this issue because there's so many of these like young gurus talking about, like, give me money, you make money fast with Amazon automation, which is all drop shipping. We're like the only company that does DFY private label. And like, people talk crap about it because it takes longer. I mean, it takes longer, but it's the way Amazon wants you to sell on Amazon, and it's the most sustainable business model. So like, I would reach out to our team and maybe we can try to see how to help you. We really have to look at the message and the reason for the deactivation in order to get you back up and running. Oftentimes it can be a licensing issue. It can be the fact that they've seen that you're literally shipping, like you were selling stuff like through their website and fulfilling it through Walmart. Like, there's multiple different variables as to why you got the notification, why you got shut down. So I would just shoot it to us. Even if you're not a client, send us an email, shoot it to us. We'll try to help the best we can, give you some free resources. If you really want to start private labeling, we can help you, hopefully help you get your account back up. If not, we can show you the steps and processes to creating a new account the right way and building the business out for the long term. Do you believe in selling products over $75? In the AMZ formula, I talk about the ceiling being $47 because I talk about what's called an impulse buying range. Impulse buying range is getting people to buy products quickly with little to no data or research or price comparison, so on and so forth. So typically what we've seen is the ceiling is $47. Do high ticket products work? Yes. Matter of fact, the new modules and new trainings that we just recorded 2 weeks ago, I think, for the AMZ formula is actually how to sell oversized products, how to source oversized products, how to sell high ticket products, how to source high ticket products, and what are the difference between the two. So we actually literally just added these to our program because I think there is an unfair advantage when it comes to high ticket products and oversized products, but you have to understand you source it different, you manufacture different. Of course, you need more money to source them. So can it be done? Yes. Do you need to know what you're doing? Absolutely. It's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more riskier. I bought one product away hard copy book, but didn't receive any order confirmation. If you can right now, my team is in here, so they heard that. If you can email this number right here, support@theamzformula.com, your first name, last name, email address, order number. If you didn't receive one, hasn't been shipped, we'll ship you one out immediately. Working on joining your team, show me success. Can't wait to see you crush it, Derek. How would we know what to change about the product? So like I could talk about this for an hour, and I do in my program, but the easiest way to differentiate a product or identify opportunity is through innovation. And the easiest way to innovate is to identify pain points and identify liking factors. So the easiest way to do this is look at your 1 stars and look at your 5 stars from your competition and from your high frequency sellers. What are 5 stars keep? What are 1 stars fix? Josh, at what point were you able to begin literally paying yourself? How long? Jacqueline, good question. So I'm a freak of nature, man. Like I, to this day, have not paid myself. I like what we do is very simple. Like on paper, me and my wife pay ourselves a lot of money, but I don't touch any of the money. I learned this from Grant Cardone, which is one of my first mentors. Shout out to Uncle G. I like to stay broke. And this is like, I like to stay broke. So all of I don't need a high salary. It doesn't matter how many millions of dollars I make. I do not need to touch that money. I don't care about this stupid stuff. I don't care about jewelry. I don't care about cars. I don't care about any of that stuff. I thought that was tied to happiness and fulfillment, but it wasn't. That was just a shallow thought process. For me, happiness and fulfillment comes from enjoying my life, traveling, and taking care of my future generations. So for me, what I do is I generate income and I invest all the income. So, when I first started out, all the money, like when all the money that I was making, I was reinvesting into the business, and I was literally only paying myself and my wife what was the bare minimum to survive. So we literally do that to today. But you're like, well, Josh, you guys have designer stuff. You have a Lamborghini, you have a home, like so on and so forth. You travel private. Whenever I'm going to, and this is a simple philosophy I learned from Ty Lopez, whenever you're going to buy something that rust, rot, or depreciate, make sure that you can out-earn that through a dividend consuming or producing asset. So very simple without going down a rabbit hole. I wanted a Lamborghini. The car was $350,000. The car note was $4,000 a month with insurance. That was my out cost. What did I do? I went and I reverse engineered how many income producing properties would I have to buy with the money that I earned to pay for the car. Therefore, it would knock down its mortgage, increase the equity, have appreciation, depreciation, and kick out the cash flow to buy the car. I wanted to buy my home. Up until 2 years ago, I had made, 3 years ago, up until 3 years ago, I've made multiple 8 figures online. I can't remember the name, but the number, but well over $20 million. And I was still renting a $650 a month townhouse. I wanted a house for my family. I was not going to pay for a house because a primary house is a bad investment. It rusts, rots, or depreciates. So what did I do? I went and I bought more assets that will income produce what my mortgage was. So that's what I follow. So when it comes to when should you pay yourself and how do you determine how to pay yourself, you have to identify, and I call this the freedom formula. Inside the program, I talk about this, but what is your bare minimum living expenses? Like when people are asked, how much do you want to make? It's $10,000 a month is like the magic number. Like, dude, you do not need $10,000 a month. What is your mortgage? What is your car note? What do you need to survive? Like, what is your food, your bare necessity? The first point would be that point, right? And then what I would do is I would take small percentages. If you need to feel that you want to pay yourself, take small percentages based off income. But my genuine recommendation is for the first year in building your business, even if you hit it, try to invest as much as possible, because the easiest way to scale exponentially your business is to reinvest all of the money. So I see this today. Like I have friends that make a lot of money and they blow a lot of money. Like the worst thing you can do is make a lot of money and then spend a lot of money. So in that book, the Richest Man of Babylon, I was talking about, they talk about when your increase in income, like if you look at a line like this, and this is the increase in your income, you're doing good, you're building a business, your business is scaling. This other line on the chart is your expense income. The easiest way to bankruptcy or to becoming a failure is for your expense line to match your income line. So if this is your income line and this is your expense line, you're messing up. You want it to be like this, right? So now on average, like what we pay ourselves is about 2% of what I make a month. So I live on less than 5% of what I make a month, and I feel very happy doing so. So this is different for everybody. Everybody has different goals, but just my best advice to you is to spend like the bare minimum and reinvest everything into the business. And also, so on this, because my team's like, bro, this is an hour and 30 minutes, and this is 30 minutes with a millionaire, not 90 minutes with a millionaire. We're hungry and we want to go home. Last piece of advice I will give you on that subject. I recorded a video called The 3 Stages of Wealth. Is that the name of it? 3 Stages of Wealth. I will literally, I contemplate removing everything from my channel and just having that video up for like 90 days so I can get more people to watch that video. That video explains my whole thought process on how I built my net worth, how I think about wealth, how I plan on managing wealth, and how I'm going to set up wealth for future generational success. I talk about wealth creation, wealth accumulation, and wealth preservation. These are the 3 phases of wealth. I did not learn this. This is my own stuff, like my own theory and framework. Please watch that 10-minute video. I think it'll give you guys a lot of insight. It'll help you with a lot of clarity, and it'll give you guys motivation, because it's very easy to make money and then want to spend the money. But if you can drink water for enough time, you'll drink wine for the rest of your life. With that being said, guys, okay, one more question. What's your advice on being better at PC? You just choose one that I'm going to just answer for 20 more minutes, right? Like, what is your advice for PPC, being better at PPC? So PPC or pay per click? Oh, God. So PPC, so there's multiple components to being better at PPC. I'm assuming being better at PPC is generating more sales and more sales profitably. To generate more sales, you have to spend more money. To spend more money, you have to generate more sales profitably. So that percentage is called ACOS, which is average cost of sale. We want to focus on that average cost of sale being a break even. If your net profit margin is 30%, your average cost of sales 30%, you break even. Spend as much money as humanly possible. I will even go into a slight deficit of 20 to 30% because you're spending to rank. Like, think about it like this. When you spend money, you're only spending money when people click on your product. When people click on your product, that's a CTR, which is click-through rate. Now, the magic equation is CTR to conversion, which is click-through rate to purchase. When somebody clicks on your ad, then they purchase your product. Amazon gives you a brownie point. That increases your ranking. When you increase your ranking, people come to Amazon, they type in your product, they organically see you, which means they see you without clicking on an ad. And when they buy your stuff through clicking on your product without seeing an ad, you make the most amount of money, and that is the goal. So where people mess up is they're focused on profitability on the front end when amateurs monetize the front end and experts monetize the back. So be willing to go in a slight deficit. However, the main goal is profitability. Now, how do you optimize or get better? Make sure you're exhausting all campaign types. You want to have negative keywords so that you're not spending money on non-relevant keywords or non-semantically relevant search terms or phrases. You want to make sure you're exhausting the different search term types and bid types. So you have phrase, you have exact, you have manual, and they all have different strategies. So when you're starting out, or different purposes, when you're starting out, test all 3, be looking at them daily, be optimizing. If they're bleeding money, they're spending money, they're not leading to conversions, drop the bid amount very low so that you still know that it's there, so you don't redundantly bid on it in the future because it's not there. However, the bid amount is low enough to where it doesn't spin. So for the first 3 to 6 months, you're just gonna have to be in there every day. You're gonna have to be trimming the fat, pruning the losers, increasing the bids on the winners, constantly adding more keywords. Make sure you have an auto campaign that's constantly finding you new search terms. Make sure you're doing competitive analysis reports. Means like you're looking at your competitors, the top sellers, what keywords they're using. All the popular tools have those. Like we have an affiliate link down below for Jungle Scout. I think you save some money. They have a keyword tool. They have a competitor tool. Helium 10 has them. All the softwares do the same stuff. And that's like the dumbed down version of how I would do it. If you guys are a product, if you guys are a product of ours, if you guys are a client of ours, actually something new that we rolled out only internally for clients is PPC done for you. So regardless if you're in the AMZ formula, you're in one of our consulting programs, or you're a client or a partner where we build the business and manage it for you, that's something that we've just rolled out internally. So if you email support@theamzformula.com, subject line PPC management. Show us your listing, show us your URL, talk to us about what you're doing. We can hop on a call and explain how much it is, how it works, so on and so forth. But that's something we offered for our clients. You have to be a member of one of our programs. We're not an agency. We don't want to be an agency. So you can be in the AMZ formula, which is only $9.97, and we'll offer that. But you have to be in our world. We only do it for clients. But that's one of the biggest pain points. And like, unfortunately, and full of transparency, PPC will not get easier. And Jim Rohn, one of my mentors, says, don't wish things got easier, wish you got better. So you have to be adaptive, innovative, and you have to continue to invest in yourself if you want to take this business serious, right? I've been in this industry since 2014, 2015. Every year they're adding more stuff. Every year there's new terms of service updates. Every year there's new changes. Every year the tariffs increase. Every year there's taxations and there's economic downturn and there's pandemics and recessions and depressions. These things will never stop. So you can use this as an excuse to give up or not to do the business, or you can say, I'm not going to complain about these things. I'm going to find ways to get better, to invest in myself, to increase my skill set, or partner with people that know what they're doing to help me get the results. I appreciate you guys. This was a good one. If you guys are new to the channel, again, please, all I ask, I don't charge for this. This is like equivalent to like a $25,000 mastermind. God honest truth. I feel that way. I hope that you do too. I hope that you feel like you rob me on these calls, because that's our number one goal, is to literally give to you guys, help you guys crush it. All I ask you guys is subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, comment on the videos. That stuff helps so much, man. Share this stuff on your social media. Share this stuff with somebody else. The truth, I appreciate your time. Emmanuel, I appreciate your time. Can't wait to start your course. I appreciate it. Louis, one of our OG award winners and clients that was crushing it, $7,000 a day. My brother, I appreciate you. Janet, I appreciate you so much. Queen. Raina, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you guys so much. The kind words really mean a lot to me. It's what I do this for. So remember, you're only one product away. If you guys are part of the family, we've got your back. We'll do whatever it takes to help you guys succeed. If you have questions about becoming a client, working with our team, working with myself personally, make sure you schedule a call, www.thenumber1productawaycall.com. Hop on a call with our client success team. Let's see how we can serve and help you, or point you in the direction of someone who can. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. I'll talk to you guys next week.